I'm your host, Edward Anderson. Appreciate you all's earlier donations. Shout out to Nate as well for sponsoring the 20 Candace Owens 20 her versus 20 feminists. I will be covering like part 2 of that very, very soon. He's giving me the ones he wants covered. I'll probably do those 2 in clips and like a good 30-minute video covering that and then upload, and then we'll finish it out. I wanted to kind of do the whole thing since I waited so long with it, so kudos to that. I got a couple of other stuff going on as well that I wanted to cover, but I'll probably cover that in video format. And then Marty, I'll cover. I'm probably gonna take the video he did and cover some key clips, and then just for what he did, because I'm not trying to do no 3 hours just to cover all of what these fools said. So that's just some stuff coming up. Hopefully y'all have it. I know we're going into the 11th, July the 11th, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. It's real when when I titled the video, a new chef might be upon us. How dudes be Breaking Bad, so you got to do a little bit more than one clip. But I was just listening to the Lapeef Network. Yes, the Lapeef Network, right? And they had 633 people in there. And I was and basically the Ask a Brother podcast, basically I'm gonna keep it real. People need to stop calling him the red pill therapist, because the reality of the situation is, we know how it's no point, and it's no point, nigga. I'm not a card carrying red pill person. I'm not red pill gang banging. The truth is the truth, and I don't need that to have a certain label, and it's not nobody running away from it. But what I will say is, don't project that onto other people. Like, at the end of the day, this guy is married. This guy, I highly doubt he has a prenuptial agreement. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I mean, obviously he's not paid like that. He's married, so he's operating. This guy, I would actually categorize him as a purple pill guy, because he is participating, and he definitely believes in participating in the system. And that's not a bad thing. I've told you, there's good purple pill and bad purple pill. There's good purple pill is people that acknowledge what's going on, and acknowledge what's going on, but still play the game because they have a life to live and they have things they want to get out of it. But they make the proper adjustments, and they're willing to make those adjustments. Versus red pill is more in the category of, I'm going to pursue alternative avenues to do what I want, versus, like, for instance, BGS, not marrying the mother of his kids, and BGS being willing to walk away from this situation if he couldn't have access to his kids, because that was the main reason why, what it was. That's more of a red pill. I mean, he'll say black pill, but you get what I'm saying. You all get what I'm saying. What's up? Yeah, I need a haircut. I'm out here in the gas station. Actually, they're opening a Wawa pretty soon. I actually know what I want. I mean, I ain't against nobody that's on the card carrying stuff, but let's be real. Yeah, but we'll see what y'all motherfuckers from the Northeast talk about with this Wawa shit. But at the end of the but what I do know is gas is always cheap as fuck, and that's actually an area that's not too far from where I stay. So that's gonna be good, having another place I know I can get cheap gas. Like, the cheapest gas I can get right now is like $2.47 when it comes through, and this usually comes through most of the time of the month. So every little bit counts. But anyway, like I was saying, it's one. So to me, there's a difference between, me. I'm manosphere before I'm red pill. But red pill just means the truth. So, and trust me, I tell the truth even at the expense of my own channel growth. So nobody can't tell me shit about quote unquote the truth. However, the thing is, people have this thing that they want to project that on the other people. This is onto other people. And I would say to guard against that inclination, because number one, how does calling him and this has nothing to do with the men, for all I know the women could be doing that, but how does calling him a red pill therapist, especially when men don't even believe in therapy like that? And I'm not saying you should, because really your therapy needs to get in the fucking gym. You know, you need more active therapy, although talking to people has its points. But we all know, if you call him a red pill therapist, what's going to come with that? And if you got to make it easy. Black men have to learn how to make it easy for people to side with you. Part of that was, SWP was talking about that I've talked about this when it comes to money. We have to fund the people that we want to see, and black men do. And this is where, real talk, when a lot of men get mad at me, fuck you, I don't care, because like I said, I'm gonna tell the truth as I see it. I'm not here to sit here and here's the thing that I don't fucking like, and this is what gets on my fucking nerves. I'm here to move the needle. That is why I'm here. What is the needle? The needle is to increase the awareness of men, particularly black men, because that's where my focus is, but really men in general, because when we get on the same page on basic shit, like the shit we do agree on, like for instance, even a racist white dude should be able to agree that you should be able to have paternity. Every man should know if a child is his or not, and not be financially obligated. Even a fucking I'm not saying this is what I measure everything with, but even a fucking racist that don't like black men should agree on that. Like, there's certain baseline things that should be agreed on. Every man should agree on the fact of rights. But what happens, and I don't mean to bring up white dudes, what happens with white dudes is they want shit to harm other people but not harm them. And that's why, and not understanding that they're the majority population, and the elites see them as more of a threat than they do black men, because black men don't have the numbers or the expectations. So this is where they fuck up. So my point is, there's certain baseline things that we should all agree on is basic. And black men are not what's in the way of that shit. Let's just be real about that. They're not. But that being said, my job is to move the needle, which is raise the awareness of men. Because when you raise the awareness of men, the market, in my opinion, will correct itself, because men are problem solvers, and it will also expose dudes that are more so wanting to protect the system, like have women be referees and shit. Because this allows them to not have to be economically viable or skirt a lot of that shit. And then everybody else has to pay for that shit, because ultimately the state pays for single mothers. We're paying, taxpayers are paying for single mothers. I don't care how much child support it is. We're paying for this shit to be the way it is. It costs more because men are not more involved. And other men have to collectively deal with that to create this nanny state. This is why I'm not against Trump gutting the fucking government. Now, obviously, there's certain things I prefer to be gutted than others. This Medicaid shit, fuck it. I knew we were going in the right direction when my conservative senator, Tom Tillis, started crashing out. Tillis is very conservative, and he was crashing out because he knew that was going to affect white people. I'm like, good. What about the children? Gut that shit. Now, I don't agree with him making the tax cuts permanent. I don't agree with that, but that's Trump's signature thing. But whatever. Because you niggas need to, I go force y'all to be on the supply side anyway. So it is what it is. But like I've said, that's my goal. And I always and obviously my goal is to overturn the gynocracy, but first step is you gotta raise the awareness of men. So the problem is, I talk about the Black Female Accountability Department, and you have men that'll sit here and they can't get off this, well, you want women to take over the space. Yo, I'm fucking so tired of that fucking childish ass fucking argument. The reality is, if you got a female like Danica Marie, or if you got a female, there's a conversation to be had about chameleons and not chameleons. But if you have females like Danica Marie, Shay Sade, Dee Dee, there's a whole host of them. I was just naming the bigger ones. And they have majority male audiences. As a marketer, that's where your fucking audience is. That's where your fucking audience is. That if they have majority men audiences, stop competing with women and actually start saying, okay, these women are saying these things. Separate the ones that are chameleons versus the ones that are really about it. And then if a content creator sees it necessary to work with those women to deal with, get that audience, then it is what it is. But you have dudes in this space that they want to play clubhouse games. They want to play clubhouse games, and they want to get mad about, oh man, these women are getting donations. All this. Look, that's the nature of social media. Men have to operate alternatively when it comes to how men build an audience. It's not fair. It is what it is. Fucking adapt. But what happens is dudes be trying to regulate other niggas. Like that is a waste of fucking time. Niggas will forego building their own channels to perceptually try to regulate other niggas. Even if you are right, which you're not, but even for the dudes that are right, at the end of the day, if people fuck with me, unless I do something that goes 100% counter to what my principles are, people are going to fuck. The people that fuck with, that's a part of influence. People are going to fuck with me. There are plenty of people that are stupid as fuck that people fuck with. That, I mean, even how they speak is stupid, but they're entertained by these people. I don't know why people think that they're debating like we're in Congress and you can take somebody's seat, and if you take their seat, you take their votes. It doesn't work that way. And it does a lot more of keeping things static than it should. What is my point coming to this dude? My point coming to this dude is you are gonna see him communicate with spaces that has women on it. You are gonna see that. You'll see him on some male spaces too, but you are gonna see that, and that's not a bad thing. This guy, at least I've listened to him for about 3 hours. Him talking to him white chicks, and now him talking on Lapeef. Obviously, that is that's not a large sample size, but this dude the chicks did try to press him, and he has the bullshit they used to say, which I personally think is bullshit. They used to say about Kevin Samuels as far as tone. This dude has that tone chip upgrade, and he has that emotional intelligence upgrade. And the thing is, what I like about this dude the most is he makes it so a woman looks very awkward trying him. It's not the same thing that with Kevin. They would go up there just to troll Kevin. This dude is very, like, first of all, he's not gonna do a show where women call in. Some of that with the nature of the show. I think what he's gonna do is go on panel, because he already has his therapy practice. Ain't no point in him going. He gets paid money, good money, to do therapy. So why the fuck would he sit here and do that shit for free? But he will do interviews and stuff like that, and I think assert himself in the conversations. And this dude has hit all the points that we've talked about. He's not against passport bros. He probably explained why dudes would do the passport bro. He acknowledged the sex tourism and didn't act like it was a big deal. It wasn't. He said, men are doing it for this reason, and this reason, and he made it so it was all valid and not a big deal. He's hitting all the points. Dude is married to a black woman, a certified therapist. Like, when therapists, like, he actually has a practice, and he actually practices his practice now. And the podcast is just an extension of his practice engaging in these conversations in a professional way. He said his field, I mean, obviously his field is dominated by women. So the thing is, this dude has that upgrade. I'm not saying this is how, so distilling him just to red pill, it doesn't help us, it doesn't help him. If people want to brand it that way, whatever. But ultimately, you know, people need to highlight that he's a certified therapist agreeing with quote unquote red pill talking points. Because everybody wants to make it, when you think of red pill, you think of Andrew Tate, which is a character of who he actually is, or you think of Myron. And this dude also is better than Anton because, you know, he has the same kind of shields that Anton has, but without the cooning. Appreciate that, DeSwoovius. Long-time subscriber and viewer. Just paying some due, man. Absolutely appreciate that. Like I always say, man, I'm definitely humbled by you all's donation. I don't sell moderators, but I acknowledge you as a long-time subscriber, which is why I'm giving you that moderator tag. I'll get usual business as well the next time he slides through. I just don't like people commenting about a moderator and then I give it, because it sets the expectation that if you say something enough, you'll get it. Which is why I always randomly give people moderator tags. Let's keep it 100, Sam. All men pay child support. I can understand that. Yeah, that's a bar. I'll acknowledge that as a bar. I'm telling you, man, you need to use that Hoes Man News, because eventually I'm going to start using that. I'm just letting you know. Some of these niggas, yeah, I agree with that. Some dudes are chameleons. I absolutely agree with that. However, that's why you always have to be vigilant. I have a suspected chameleon list. Media Man is on it. But at the same, and that's not even a bad thing, just because, but at the same, well, it is, but you know, my thing, it just means you're being paid attention to. The go left list. But at the end of the day, I'm going to judge you on what you do. And I acknowledge the good and the bad. And the reality is Anton does good work. Anton does good work on that front. And Media Man does good work too. It's just you acknowledge it. And you got it. And as far as this dude, I don't think this dude is necessarily a chameleon, because he's bringing up all the things. He's bringing up all the talking points that women get triggered by. And in fact, a lot of these women, if you look at that Lapeef chat, you have like 3 or 4 women that were hella triggered. Oh, this sounds like what Kevin was saying. Well, Kevin wasn't wrong. Just because Kevin doesn't have a certification doesn't mean he's wrong. Kevin had a lot of other experiences too that people didn't want to acknowledge. Kevin has dealt with a lot of different women in a lot of different modalities. You know, Kevin used to low-key have an escort, so Kevin has dealt with women in a lot of ways, and you can't write this dude off, because this dude has a practice. You can't get him fired either, because I believe he has his own practice. So he's shielded on all of the things. On all of the things. So people sitting here trying to, so when the women are trying to go after him, I'm not sitting here and telling y'all go subscribe to the brother. I mean, shit, you can always unsubscribe, but I'm just saying pay attention to this brother and then let me know what you think. Cause this is the type of dude. Holy shit. What the fuck? Is this a new Buster? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So they finally finished it. Damn, I remember when this shit wasn't shit. Anyway, this dude is the type of dude you can share on Facebook. This is the type of dude you can share on Facebook. And also how he comes off. He doesn't come off as aggressive. And that's a good thing. So our job is to get this message spread. And so if people reacting to stuff, it's like, yo, shout out to Poor Man. Shout out to Poor Man. And all the dudes, this is a guy that Mediocre could definitely comment on as well. A lot of the big guys could definitely railgun this dude, because this dude is, the way he comes off. And also the thing that I like is the way that he communicates is very clip proof, clip farming proof. Clip farming is a term the young dudes use, the young people use. I know I say like I'm old as fuck, but the young people use, it's a term for basically creating viral clips and manufacture them. So you create viral moments. So that's what you're doing. You're clip farming. They also call it oral farming, which is funny. But anyway, you can't, like, you're not gonna see a clip of him getting, as they try to say with Kevin, sassy with a woman. Even in the way he's pulling certain stuff from his therapy practice too. Let me tell you what inspired me to do this video right now. So you got Darwin that's on there, the bald-headed dude. Y'all probably seen some of his stuff. Good dude, right? And Darwin, dude, like, a woman was asking him questions about equality, and she believes in equity. We know equity is bullshit, but this is what she was saying. I'll give you the clip. And he said, I have a great, analogy in my practice that I often compare when it comes to this thing. He did exactly what I do. He asked her for an example so we can be on the same page. She gave it, and she did give it. She was asking legit questions, right? And this is an hour and a half in. And then he said it was her, and this is a chick that she does power tools. She's the type of one chick that's working in the construction. This is her. Butch type chick. I'm not even trying to play her, but her thing was, I want to be seen as soft, even though this. Okay. And dude said, are you, outside of being a human being, would you say you're equal to Jasmine in like everything? And she said no. And Jasmine was the chick right by her on the panel. And he said, well, if you're not equal to another woman, how can you be equal to another man? And then the dude was like, ooh, ooh, I was like, just check that shit. He just checked that shit, dunked on that motherfucker. And he went on to explain it. It's the setup. Not no this. It's the setup. I'm like, oh, this is a sonic rocket, baby. Oh, we got sonic rockets now. America ain't got no fucking sonic rockets. This is a sonic missile, boy. This missile can change lanes in mid-air, boy. Oh, shit. Boom. And there's no, and the thing, for those of y'all that don't know, and I'm not military doing this nigga an opinion, sonic rockets, there's no defense against sonic missiles, because how fast they move, and they can change in mid-air. They can course correct. So, those are like the newer generation of missiles. Oh, shit! So, it's how dudes got the emotional intelligence upgrade. This nigga is a Terminator, man! Terminator, Manosphere 3.0, motherfucker! So, you just need one. And so the way he communicates is in a way that makes it very hard for women to crash out on him. And by the way, he does not say the women are all wrong. Even in the paternity, they brought up paternity multiple times, which by the way, the women exposed how full of shit they are. He said, and I quote, paternity fraud is one of the few things that, he used the term that men are bitching about, that there is no reasonable reason that like any person should be against it other than they just don't like it. They just don't like it. And that's literally what he said. It makes them upset. And then he went on to say that it's also one of those things that proves that if you're a woman and you claim that you're really about solving this discussion, that if you're not for solving this, and solving this means, you know, I'm outside of quote now, I'm paraphrasing now, but solving this means, you know, making it mandated that this happens for every child, that you're exposing that you're not really wanting to solve it. He said that. The other thing he said that I didn't know, this I did not know. I tell you, I don't know everything. Is I didn't know that there, and I'm gonna find it, that there are cities and states in the United States where it is illegal to swab a kid without the permission of the mother. I want to know those cities and those states, and I want to know who passed that shit. And I wouldn't be surprised if I want to know who passed that shit. Because whoever passed that shit doesn't need a career. They don't need it needs to be politics. It needs to be over for them. Whatever office they got, that's it. They need to be retired. I don't give a fuck who they are. They could be, I don't give a fuck who they are. They need to be retired. Because I want somebody to reasonably tell me, because truth be told, it's important for medical reasons to know who if your kids are yours. Medical reasons, financial reasons. So I want to know who those motherfuckers are. I want to know who voted a bill like that, who created a bill like that, all the things. As like a white chick I used to work with, used to always say, yeah, these are all of the things. This, that, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you need to do all of the things. Like, you always used to say, she had a thing about saying things. I didn't even know that. And that kills that, well, why don't men just do it? He said, as you speak on creators, I mean, as far as the YouTube changes, I mean, that's the thing about AI, man. That's why I use AI in a certain way. And that's why. I heard about the YouTube changes starting July 15th, you know, as far as the AI stuff with I know there's some people I know that are pissed because they make a lot of money doing that repost shit. I personally think it should be labeled versus you sitting here. I don't know. We'll see how it's implemented. Because a lot of it, is it like, you talk about one piece of AI, some pieces of AI, what is Facebook gonna do? Because honestly, this makes it so a lot of this shit may go to Instagram. We'll have to see if they all get on code with this. All of the platforms, or one use it to their advantage, because TikTok hasn't done this yet. But we'll see. I mean, it don't affect me. So, I mean, but that's why I don't use, I use AI I don't use, like, for other, it's only a couple of things I really use AI real heavy on. And it doesn't require AdSense in order for it to work. So hopefully that answers your question. They already comparing him to KS, but they only because Jeff exercised the patience needed to have the conversation. Yeah, I mean, he's not Kevin Samuels in a lot of different ways. He's not Kevin in a lot of different ways, but he doesn't have to be. We don't need another Kevin necessarily for a variety of reasons. We need an evolution at number one. He's 35. That's what I like too. He's 35. So that means he's on the younger end of the millennium. He's on the older, younger. He's like on the older end of the youngers, and like on the younger end of more of the olders. If that makes any sense. So that's good. That's good. So it ain't. So he's somebody that's still kind of in, like, solidly in the dating market. So it's not like, well, you know, he's married, but you get what I'm saying. I don't want to be inside. So it's not like, so it's a variety of things that he does that's like to the advantage. Like on paper, he has a lot of stuff, and how he's executed a lot of these conversations, especially with black women. Because it's one thing to sit there and say that to women that are listening. It's another thing for him to deal with, you know, sisters. Even Dude said it. Dude was like, yeah, but all you got to do is come on 3 or 4 shows. But they're not. But one reason why they're not going to do, like, they have no angle. That's why when they were doing shit, they were arguing with other dudes on the panel versus arguing with him. Because he's got something for it. Even the thing he brought, which I love, the blank slate theory. The thing with the blank slate theory he brought up, which was masterful, which is they don't believe in, they believe in changing stuff that you shouldn't be changing. And a lot of women don't even understand it. All y'all educated, but y'all don't understand that. He said, I hope YouTube rid of clip farming. Doubt it though. They will be taken away as central themselves. Yeah, I mean, you can't really, how are you gonna measure quote unquote clip farming? You can't. AI is different. You gotta measure from a digital standpoint what AI is. So this Kevin 2.0 doesn't have it. His personality just isn't abrasive enough. Well, first of all, having an abrasive personality is not the goal. I mean, it worked for promotion, but that's not necessary now. People know what the space is. So, I mean, you keep saying have it like that's a virtue, and that wasn't a virtue. Kevin wasn't really that abrasive, to be honest with you. Kevin only got like that when he was disrespected. And the nature of how his show was kind of invited that because of what his show became. But this dude is not going to have a show. He'll have interviews, but he's not going to have a show where women are called. He's not trying to be Kevin Samuels. He already has his practice. The social media is an extension of that, and he can make some good money. I think he's adding more to it. But, and see, that's what I'm saying. A lot of dudes like that abrasiveness because y'all want to get these women checked. It is not about checking women. I don't like y'all niggas like checking women. I'm not saying I don't have a goal of checking women or changing women. It's not about that. You have to raise the awareness of men. And I think a lot of dudes, I think this is a guy that, you know, what have I told you? I've told you that Dr. T.S. Johnson, I think this guy, Dr. T.S. Johnson absolutely has his role. He's in this space. But having somebody that does what he does actually complements what Dr. T.S. Johnson does. Because this dude is talking from an academic standpoint as well. I mean, obviously, that's more Dr. T.S. Johnson's field, but I could definitely see this dude interviewing Dr. T.S. Johnson, interviewing Tommy Curry. I can see, that's the type of dude that, like, real talk, if we were able to scrounge up some money, we can get him for an hour. You know, or on a BGS for Women podcast. This is a guy that basically, if you go hard on him, you're going to look dumb. Like, could you imagine FD Signifier trying to say, look, this is I already know the approach FD Signifier is gonna take because he's a snake. FD Signifier is gonna try to approach it like, oh, this dude is gonna be a victim of the red pill, and because he's an independent operator, he's gonna prove, basically, he's gonna sell it as this is proof. This guy is going to prove that people that are quote unquote red pill are really just about dominating women and not really about solving the problem, because this dude is not going to be, you know, he's not going to be enough with the orthodoxy. This dude has already he already agrees with most of what we're talking about. He's articulated Passport Bros in really like I think he did it in like 40 seconds better than most Passport Bros articulate why they go through it. He said Passport Bros is basically a movement where men are traveling for a variety of things, sexual opportunities or sex tourism. And he said sex tourism, looking for mates for long-term relationships. He explained all of that in like 40 seconds to women that didn't know what it was, to white women. That's what it is. And he said it very matter-of-factly. Like, all of it is the same, because men's priorities change depending on what they're on. And he said straight up, he said his wife, his now wife, when he met her and they were having some kind of, I don't know where they were in their relationship, but she asked him, what is this Passport Bro thing? Would you have been a pair? He said without hesitation, yep. If I would have met you, yep. And he explained, he said it wasn't necessarily getting women, it was more so the process of dating and courting that was the issue. And he then talked about the matches that he got to further signify that that's not the issue. Because you already know, based on how he looks, he doesn't have a hood look. So women are going to judge him on that, But because he's married to a black woman, it's the same thing with Anton. You can't have that argument without looking like you're part of the problem. And that's why the bald-headed dude on there was making the declarations that he was making, because he's been on the show for a long time. So he knows how they are. He said they're in character. Yeah, they are in character. And he's not wrong, but and I get what he was talking about. He's basically saying, well, these women don't know, we can grow with new information. No, these women are loyal to narratives. Some of them that may be true, but most of them, they're loyal to narratives, and the loudest ones in the room that can actually control and force the women that are more open-minded, they can force them by bullying them, and that's the issue. And then you got men that are guilty as hell. I would love to, we raise some money and get him on here, and I got like give me 3 questions. I'm going to ask him, what does he think about this guilty shit? It'd be a couple of things I would ask him. But ultimately, where we are now is more of a public relations thing. And I'm not talking about like we need to bend what we are to the mainstream, but they're trying to present out what we say in a very evil way. They're doing that on purpose. And this is a guy that's a vaccine to that shit. He can nullify that shit. And you don't need a whole, because again, what did I always tell you? You get one, and what happens? One person that's in the right situation that validates what we're saying, everybody's going to clip, because Clip Farm is just taking his clips. And you don't have clips of him cussing a woman out. You're not, because that's not how he does it, because he's a trained therapist. And he talks to men and women. And I saw, and he said, what are you going to do? He said it even to that chick. It like men become a genetic dead end if they don't adapt. So you don't see men sitting here going after women for their height preferences or financial preferences. If they make a certain amount of money, it's not, but the same thing is, once a man has achieved that a certain level of women are trying to deal with him, those men that you want that's on you to get picked. And they couldn't run from that shit. Because what are they gonna say? Nobody can question his credentials. Unlike people listening to fucking Cheyenne Bryant, which, by the way, again, shout out to Paul Pierce for massively dealing with checking that shit. So everybody wants these chicks to get checked. That's not necessary. You can go to a whole bunch. You can go to Fugazi. You go to Fugazi. What's the fat dude? Shout out to him losing weight with the horn. That's why you did it. You ain't shit. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. There's plenty of guys that's going to check these hoes. And I'm not saying we need more of this, blah, blah, but he's here. This is the same shit that people were saying with Pearl. And I'm not saying people should have got behind Pearl, but this is the same principle. And this is a black man that's 35 on the younger end, so it ain't like an older nigga, because that's another thing everybody had an issue with. Kevin's 52. Oh my God. So this is a guy that's 35 that is currently married. I believe he has a kid. He was raised in a 2-parent home with a black family. That his mom for a time didn't work, and she did work because his dad held it down. So we can't say he talking about something he ain't seen. We got black people dealing with black people. He definitely doesn't always talk about race, but he definitely alludes to he definitely will talk about the race situation because he said it a couple of times. He just doesn't linger on it too long. So what are we talking about? And people would be like, oh, well, he's not attractive. Well, Anton ain't either. Anton ain't getting bitches like that. We all know that. This dude's got the, Anton don't got the height. This dude's got the height. Minus the cooning. So I'm not gonna say completely fuck Anton. I'm not gonna say that. What I am gonna say is, just like Chizza Zed is married and Chizza Zed is doing a thing about getting a prenup. So Chizza Zed believes in even though Chizza Zed is not ADOS, I'm like, I'd rather you listen to Chizza Zed than listen to Anton as far as marriage. Because Chizza Zed is more recently married. So you look for, I'm not saying necessarily fuck Anton, discard Anton, but I'm saying when there's somebody else that kind of fits more what needs to happen, you weigh that. That's all. Yeah. He said, armed with the truth, these chicks look stupid, but these chicks are, yeah. And it validates our point. And they were getting mad in the chat because these women, oh, it's this, it's that. But yeah, bring your ass up and show your face and say that. He ain't, he's saying the same thing. Kevin wasn't wrong. That's the thing. It's just, the problem is y'all be trying to affect people's economics based on your feelings. And because what I understand he has his own practice, you're not going to affect that. Because everything he's saying is the same shit he said behind. And quiet as it's kept, Kevin had a lot of women that wanted him to counsel. And quiet as it's kept, Brittany Renner sat her ass down when it came to talking to Kevin. And quiet as it's kept, what's that chick's name? Jessica Wong? She want to say white men. She wasted her time with white men. What the fuck did I say? I said it was probably a white boy that listened to Kevin that basically said, Kevin, you need to go on that shit, and they made it happen somehow, and that bitch didn't listen to what Kevin said and how she acted toward what he said. That white dude was like, oh, hell no. Because you're dealing with somebody that can make their own money too. Oh, hell no, this ain't gonna work. You good. I'll release you. I'll release you back in the wild. And she thought, and she didn't understand, because the thing about Jessica Wong is Jessica Wong is a late bloomer. Jessica Wong used to be big. So Jessica, what's that? I forget what that that light-skinned chick that used to be fat too. And she be, she in the, Chrissy sector and shit like that. With Cynthia G, that sector. You know what I'm talking about. Jessica Wong was never that big, but Jessica Wong was on the bigger end. With her face and everything, yes, the dudes she wanted weren't checking for her at all. The dudes she wanted weren't checking for her at all. And so she has this kind of resentment toward men. Jessica Wong, I'm not even calling that stupid shit, because first of all, that's stupid. JW wasn't, didn't really get popping until she was like 23, 24. She's a late bloomer in that way because she lost that weight. And so that's why, if you look at how she's built, that's why her skin is like that. And I'm not even trying to say in a negative way. I'm just saying matter of factly. Is because like she looks like she's a baby. Like if she has a baby, she's blowing the fuck up. Damn, five white bitches. 2, 4, 5. Shit. This is what, boy, I'll tell you, they be in packs. This is why, so she has she has this resentment towards men, probably black men, because even white men do them wrong, they always project that shit. Every man that did them wrong has a black face on it somehow. And so that's all, and that's also the asterisk with her. It's like, yo, and she's like, what, 33, 34 now? Let me check. No, she's 31. She's 31, but I think she's approaching 32. So it's kind of, when you're playing at that level, you being 32, not at that level. Because now you're going to have to date older men. Meaning you're going to need, so that looks better for a dude that's 38, 39, 40. But like a dude that's 31, it's going to be, what are we dealing with? And she already know. She know that if she blows up and she has a kid with a black dude is like in the entertainment industry, she gonna get left. She already know what that is. And probably a white dude too. So, but my point in saying all that is Kevin was right about her. Kevin said all that shit to her. What was gonna happen? That you gonna get 30, and that's why she on here talking about, she still got it. That's a delusion. That's a fucking, and the only reason that's kind of true with her a little bit is because she's a late bloomer. So in her mind, oh, it's true because she used to, cause you know, I look better than I did. Yeah, but you're still on a decline, and that was the point. And this is not about, like, everybody ages. Like, it's not even, it is what it is. But in the sexual marketplace, you all are time limited. And the more you all fall in a delusion if that's not the case, y'all are just playing like I've always said. No, it's not Steph Curry. It's not Steph Curry. You all are playing a game with yourself. Steph Curry don't have a face either. That's Steph Curry's problem, and Steph Curry is like a 4. That's Steph Curry's problem. The only dude that's dealing with Steph Curry is the dude that think they can get on a discount because they face don't matter. I want to buy. There's certain dudes that would deal with Steph Curry, and Steph Curry's problem is she don't want those dudes. That's what makes Steph Curry a low-key femcel. She don't want them dudes. Even though these are not bad dudes that she would deal with. These are dudes that actually probably could do better than her if they got their paper up a little bit. So at the end of the day, she can't handle that. And it's like, yo, there's always other women. That's a game you're playing with yourself. So ultimately, you know, dude, is no point in dudes having this endless argument with you all, because honestly, if we're gonna be just so for real, you cycle through them. Next. This is why they don't like passport bros, because they don't like the idea that men they don't like the idea that men can travel. Because they can extend their market, because they instinctually understand that that's a competitive threat. But they'll never outwardly say that, because that's them declaring that you have leverage. So they're going to lie. Again, appreciate the Suvius with the 50. Appreciate Derek Williams for the $5. Appreciate JD Aesthetic for the 20. Appreciate your long time support. Yeah. My bad. All right, I'm back now. Well, most men don't even know they got the leverage. See, this is where the self-improvement fallacy comes in. Men should self-improve, but the problem is what men are trying to, they purposely leave it there. They're trying to say to self-improve, and they leave it there because that's where you're holding men accountable and you're not triggering women. When you self-improve, you're supposed to use that money in any reasonable way to achieve the outcomes you're trying to achieve. That's self-improvement. They want you to self-improve, so it's implied that you stay your ass in this dating market. It's implied you stay your ass in this dating market to self-improve, to deal with mediocre bitches. It's not implied. This is why self-improvement guys always stop in the self-improvement thing and they lead with leverage. They leave the leverage part out. This is actually where Andrew Tate, this is why they hate Andrew Tate. That's the one piece as to why they hate Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate says that when you self-improve, once you achieve a certain level, then you flip the script and you're supposed to be ruthless out here when it comes to what you demand from women. Like, you reap the rewards of that self-improvement to the fullest extent. And as a man, not only should you do this, you're obligated to do this. That's why they hate Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate actually will say, you're a loser. You don't get women because you're a loser. Go lift some weights and shut the fuck up. Don't play video games. Porn is for sick. That's the stuff he says. But on the back end of it, he also says that if you're, as a woman, if you're dealing with the man that you want, he has all the leverage. And he doesn't play that men are supposed to submit to women bullshit, especially the ones that they want. That's why they don't like Tate. That key difference. And quite frankly, Myron says the same thing in a very basic way. And the difference between Tate is, Tate has a lot of motion. Tate has a lot of motion with the white boys, so he becomes a micro security threat. Because they look at Tate like a warlord. They look at Tate like a warlord that he's able, just off the personality he's presented online, to gather a lot of men very quickly. And that scares them. And so they want to put all these sex trafficking charges on him so that can try to, oh, he's a sex trafficker. But that crap has no merit, and it's not working. So they try to remove him off a line. Then they tried to make him a sex trafficker, even though they're not convicting no case. That's why when I was arguing that women at that bullshit ass Discord, she was talking about, well, Andrew Tate. It's like, bitch, I already know what you, if you're saying that black men, minority men, bitch, I know you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I know you, like the fact that you're saying that Andrew Tate influences minority men, I automatically don't know I know you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Do you really believe that they're gonna pass laws and go after Tate like they're going after Tate because minority men don't have the same kind of push that white men would have? Do you think he got all his money from minority men? So you know who the fuck Kevin Samuels is. You know who he is, and you're telling me that Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate had the same audience. That is what you're telling me. I don't think Andrew Tate has touched a black woman in his life. Are you fucking like? And I was like, I already know you don't know what you're talking about, and I can tell you're reading an article. Just because that's what an article says doesn't mean shit. Them articles are blog posts. Those are not legit news organizations. Oh, are you an Andrew Tate supporter? What the fuck does that have to do with what I said? So now if I'm a supporter, then I'm being labeled. And that's what I'm talking about. So this guy, you can't do that with. Because now, if you just start yelling and screaming, you look stupid. And I love the fact that he doesn't, paternity fraud ain't the main thing he brings up, but he brings it up enough that dudes are starting to talk. So when these women, and this one bitch, this fucking fat, light-skinned bitch, had a nerve to sit here, and they always like, well, because you know what you saying is stupid. She was like, you trust her enough to bust in her? I'm like, y'all need to come up with some better talking points. Because, you know, you trust her enough to bust in her, so that's the same argument we're making. So basically, if you fuck a bitch raw, you need to accept the baby she gets you. You do understand how much that just, like, I love it. I love it. Dude, I want these bitches to keep doing that shit. Because these purple pill, these bad purple pill niggas, these niggas that be wanting to believe in you hoes, the clearance types, they can't defend that. Like, they cannot. Do you not understand that you stupid bitches are red pilling the guys? You all are driving the guys closer to our shit like Darth Sidious. Do it. This is like Anakin, them not giving Anakin the fucking master, being a master, be on a council. You all are doing things that they cannot reconcile. They cannot reconcile that. Are you fucking serious? Like Obi has been on a paternity kick. They cannot reconcile Obi Allen. They cannot reconcile that. Do you dumb? You bitches are so fucking stupid. You all don't even understand that. You all don't even understand it. Y'all want to talk about emotional intelligence. You all do not understand that men can, I know that Superman movie was out too, by the way. We'll see. I've heard good things. Men cannot reconcile this position. You saying, well, if you busting a bitch, first of all, I thought casual sex was okay. So now all of a sudden you're penalizing men, like you're penalizing men for wanting to know a kid is his. And the dude answered it. The therapist answered it. Well, y'all could, Jeff is his name, I guess. He answered it. He said that we live in a libertine society, not liberal, not liberated. It has been liberated. We live in a libertine sexual sexual revolution. All you bitches, and I've heard this throughout this whole feminist bullshit with Candace Owens, all you bitches talk about the sexual revolution like it's literally Jesus dying on a cross for your ass. And yet y'all have the nerve to get mad. Like, I look at, that's like you saying, anyway, I'm gonna get to that. But then y'all got nerve to get mad because a dude wants to verify a kid is his that you are placing the responsibility on. By the way, we're not talking about men that are married. I mean, they should get a paternity test as well, by the way. But we're not talking about men that are married. We are talking about men that are being told that a baby is theirs. Guess the fuck what? He didn't commit to you. If he didn't marry you, or if you're not engaged, he did not commit to you. He is engaging in casual sex. How dare you try to penalize him for wanting to verify some shit when you're the one that got pregnant? You should have took the fact that you're pregnant means you didn't take the morning after pill. It means you weren't on birth control like you said you was. It means you didn't have one of those things that you put in, the catheter or whatever that fucking shit is called. Remember what I said. You have to sleep with a nigga. You have to sleep with a nigga raw, let him bust in you, not take the morning after pill, not be on birth control, not wear a condom, and then do it within your ovulatory cycle, which is not your entire cycle when you're pregnant. I mean, your cycle, that's like a week. Women have like, what, maybe 8 days? Did they get pregnant out of the month? That's 7 things. That's 7 things you have to do in order to get pregnant. And you got the nerve that the man ain't verifying? You bitches, like, women talk about having a roster, listen to the city girl music, and it's 2025 and y'all want to act like y'all just fucking one nigga? Bitch, if you don't sit your stupid ass down, are you fucking serious? And basically what he was like, well, we live as liberal, he said it this way: we live in a post-sexual revolution libertine society where it's too much data out there now for men to not to take that risk. It's too much data. He said literally, not quote, it's too much data out there for the argument to be made that men should just trust women like that, not on something that important. This, to me, it's equivalent of, it's like if you ask a woman, if a man asks a woman, has she been tested when it comes to sexual transmitted diseases? Black women will get offended by that. It's the same bullshit. And this is where he led into the only real reason, and Andrew Wilson was saying that too, by the way. It'll make you upset. And this is what I'm saying. Your emotions cannot dictate most things. This is why y'all don't run shit, because you all want your emotions to dictate, because you feel a certain type of way a man should move. Fuck your feelings. I'm not about to sentence myself to a financially transmitted disease off a kid that ain't mine. You can get mad. Women question if a man has been faithful all the time. Men are not willing to blow up the relationship over that. That's a common joke. Now all of a sudden, you all want to wild the fuck out? Like, if a man doesn't sign, could you imagine if a man doesn't sign the paperwork? They don't even say that. Don't sign the paperwork. They say that after the fact once you're hooked. Ain't even purple pill dudes saying don't sign the paperwork. Because it's going to fuck up the money because they're going to lose their female audience. The fuck are you talking about? And she was literally like, yeah, you busted her. So you trust her enough to bust her? I mean, my thing is, you shouldn't be busted at hoes like that anyway. But at the same time, let's keep it all the way real. Black women don't like condoms, and black women clearly like the feeling of being nutted in. Other women do too, but other black women don't have the same social cost. White women have a social cost to having mixed baby. Which, by the way, is another reason why, you know, that's one advantage of fucking a white woman. You know, there's a real social cost for them. They have something to lose, inherently. So they're more equipped to not be on that shit. Hispanic women to a certain extent too, because all their family don't fuck with black dudes like that. Black women don't give a fuck. As far as they're concerned, if they're fucking you, you've already passed the genetic test. Unless you pay them. You've already passed the genetic test. So they just see you extracting a baby. And it just goes to show you all the shit BGS said, BGS was saying to BGS for women about how women are, all this stuff is coming out to be absolutely true. All this shit is coming out to be true. All of it. All of it that we've been saying is coming true. SWP would have never believed. You ain't really heard SWP really bring up paternity like that. SWP would have never conceptualized that women are on this shit. And it's not just a black woman thing. But my point is, white women are more likely to do it for financial reasons. Meaning if a dude is loaded, as they say it is, they may play that game. I know Tate is part black, but the point is black people are not his main audience. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Tate acknowledges, you know, both, but you know, his dad. But the truth is, I put Tate in the white person category. Tate pretty much looks white enough, and honestly, white boys pretty much give him the pass. So I'm like, you know, I'm not about to sit here. Tate don't fuck with black people enough for me to, he me, blah, blah, blah. It don't even matter. Tate is pretty much up there like Mahomes. Let's just be real. I mean, especially with the bald head, let's just be real. Same thing with his brother. I mean, honestly, white women, like I've seen, it was multiple situations where white women thought he was white. Like he said, he was saying certain stuff. He didn't even say the N-word, but he was saying certain stuff. He didn't say nigga, but he was saying certain stuff. And like, well, you're a white man. And then Tay started laughing because it was on Myron shit. White women like eyeball him and just think he's like Greek or some shit like that. Or Italian or something. Like Tay could have definitely been on like what they call it, Jersey Shore or some shit like that. So yeah. So I mean, white women accept him as white, and quite frankly, white boys give him a pass. So it's really no point. And his dad ain't even around right now, so it's like, that's what that is. So, dude, black. I mean, we know it, and to me, the fact that he acknowledges his dad, because it's not like he hides it. You know, it's like, what do y'all want? Again, he's not going to be a card carrying black person. So just accept him for the Mandalorian ghost that he is. You know, Xanatos had a comment. Xanatos been ghost ear hustling. He had to comment on that shit. Xanatos had to say, I stand with the Tate brothers. The revolution. Yeah. But I don't sit here and it's like, you know, the fact that they acknowledge their dad and they don't hide their dad. Like, they don't have to be asked, you know, about their dad to talk about them. I don't know what black people want. I don't know what black people want from them. Same thing with Meghan Markle. But yeah, man. So he called that shit out. He called that shit out. And again, we don't need another rah-rah nigga. We got a lot of rah-rah niggas. We don't need that. That's what we're for. We don't need rah-rah niggas. What we need is that's not the we need a dude that could actually communicate this information, to not dilute the information, but communicate it, and communicate in a way that's gonna that they can't just naturally just bust that shit out or try to be like, this is this is that. Cause you got all these people like Richard Reeves and all these other motherfuckers, preferably that dude to be a black dude. And we've got all of that. And the fact he's with a black woman is even better. So he's inoculated from all of that. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. And the truth is that this is a dude that I could definitely see him getting on the bigger female platforms. I could definitely see him getting on, interviewing with the bigger women. And a lot of those women I could definitely see him talking to even Natasha K. Yeah, honestly, Tristan looks more white than Andrew. Like, Tristan looks like a white dude. And you gotta think, to white women too, if they find out his dad is black, I mean, that ain't hurting them. If anything, that helps them. That helps them. In the eyes of, especially with what white women are on. Because Tristan's the type of dude you could bring to the house, like, yeah. Shout out to Paul Pierce. Well, yeah, that's true. That is. Paul Pierce can. But, you know, Paul Pierce is more of a rogue element. I like Paul Pierce. Because Paul Pierce does it in a way of, I got it, so I ain't got nothing to worry about. What the fuck did Paul Pierce does it in a way of, I got it, so I ain't got nothing to prove. And Paul Pierce does have it. Paul Pierce has had drag out fights in his NBA career. Paul Pierce has been like shot, been really messed up. Paul, yeah. And he even, boy, the way he was going at Cheyenne Bryant was crazy. He said, I'm from the wood. Like, you not about to, you know, because you from Long Beach. She was like, how do you know? Because you from Long Beach. So you fucking him? You still fucking, how you know we still fucking? Because I'm from the wood. You can't say that, boy. I was like, oh, I know BGS is going to get the absolute kick out of that shit. I know. He's like, I'm from the wood. You can't tell, please. You can't fool me. He said, you from Long Beach. I was like, damn. She gonna be like, all right, I ain't talking to no more niggas from LA. I ain't talking to no more niggas from LA. Cause he knew exactly where to ask, how to ask. What did BGS say? She was a ghetto princess. And he didn't go at her like that. He went at her real smooth. Real smooth. Real smooth. He didn't force it. You know, remember, Paul Pierce got that other chick on there, which is smart. She was laughing. So that is like, that established, she set the tone on what the atmosphere was. Cause that dude, that chick actually helps him, because we have another woman on there. Now it's like, so what are we talking about? What are we really talking about? Paul Pierce was married to a pediatrician. I believe he still is. Black woman. So what the fuck you gonna say? You can't say sure. Talk about that we found out. By the way, we found out the nigga she fucking is 33 years old. I'm like, nigga, what are you doing fucking this bitch? Man, I love her, nigga. If you don't shut your fucking Travis Hunter ass up. She on TV talking about you emotionally insecure. She ain't wrong. You are. You need to cut that bitch off. If you really love her, you need to cut that bitch off, get you a younger version of her, and prove to her she's replaceable. Talk about she took her catheter out, or whatever that shit is they put in there. She took that shit out because she want to get pregnant at 42. Like, I'm not even sure. She talk about she a Jesus girl. I'm a Jesus girl. I'm like, she be saying shit, yo. Like, if you, like, it'd be like, yo, this bitch is dumb. Yeah, he did. I mean, for real. And then, like, nigga, you are goofy. She's not wrong. You are goofy. The fuck you doing with a 42-year-old? And what it is, in 5 years, that means he was 28. That means you got with her at 37. I guess she put it on you. And the truth is, she deal with women too. That's the thing, man. You niggas get with these older bitches. These women, like I've told you before, I'ma tell you again. There is a reason why incest energy is forbidden. There is a reason for that. There is a reason for that. The way black men are wired. Black men love, I'm not saying black men want to fuck their mothers. That's not what I'm saying. But black men have this dear mama syndrome where mama can't do no wrong. And the reason why is because there's so much upfront investment that women make in, you know, the good mothers. And even if they don't, in their sons, their children, sons. And so if women, you associate, some dudes will associate older women. This is why I'm really against black men dealing with older women like that, because most of you niggas can't handle it. Dealing with older women, if you allow them to tap into like your emotional center, and they're able to flip that switch where you're looking at them as an older figure in a sense of a mother or auntie figure, that taps into shit that you're not supposed to be tapping into. Because that taps into some shit y'all not supposed to be tapping into. And women know this. Erykah Badu knows this. This is why I told you, certain women, that they know how to turn their femininity on and like they really do legit know how to turn it on and off, and they have a very strong control of their feminine energy, kind of like the Force. They know how to move it. Most of you niggas are not ready for bitches like that. There's a reason why Erykah Badu flipped Common, flipped Andre 3000, and the other niggas she was with. Like, them niggas changed once they got with her. And it ain't just voodoo magic. A lot of that shit, they're like, and people think, what is he talking about? Sex, good sex has an emotional element to it. And this is what catching feelings comes from. This is why niggas are always vulnerable. Like, niggas can say what they want to say, if you're not like running through bitches. If you're the chick that was the dream girl, this your dream girl that you was with, like, let's say in high school, the chick you always wanted to date. If she comes back around how you perceive her, unless you just completely like, you know, what's her name? Chick from you know, with Urkel. They got fat. Unless she looks diametrically different, if she looks reasonably close to what she used to look like, your eyes or your brain is going to perceptually cover that gap. Your brain is going to cover that gap. And so you're always vulnerable. You will get, like BGS calls it the imprint, BGS or lightning. You will always, I won't say always, never say always, but you are highly more likely to make an exception for that situation. No matter how red pill you think you are. If the opportunity presents itself. And what I'm saying is, if women know how to tap into that mommy complex that a lot of black men have, and it depends on or auntie complex that a lot of black men have, and this is not necessarily saying that black men are necessarily incest. That's not necessarily what I'm saying, but there's a reason why black men like fucking older women that are like 10 years or more older. There's a reason why black men disproportionately like fucking 15-year-old older women. There's a reason why you got a Jalen Smith situation where the bitch is 20 years older, as if you can't find a bitch that looks similar to Drea Michelle. There's a reason for that. And black men need to really be honest about that. Like, when you see people like, you know, Jason Black talking about that, like that's a badge of honor. That's not a badge of honor that you was fucking 37-year-olds at 20 years old. That's not a badge of honor. It really, I don't know why niggas think that. I don't know why niggas really believe that. I really don't. The same mentality has niggas thinking if they 13, you were not fucking, if you were fucking a 18-year-old at 13, you were not fucking an 18-year-old. You were getting fucked by one. And the problem is what that does to your mind and your brain, which, by the way, will carry over to other women, by the way. Yeah, that shit, yeah. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, nigga. Like, so when I see that shit, them niggas get attached like that, that's not a good thing. That's a problem. And I'm not a therapist, I'm not certified, but niggas, and that's why a lot of bitches like dating younger women. You're seeing it. Tracy Ellis Ross, even Michelle Obama was talking, was alluding to liking to engage in that if the opportunity ever presents itself. It is because they understand that they can tap into that and control you vis-a-vis that. That is why. That is what they all have in common. There's that matriarchal mother thing, and that is unnatural for a masculine man to want to be in that position. I'm going to keep it real with you. This is going to be bad. You're not going to like it. You're not going to read it. Some people may clip me for this. Fuck you. I don't care. I stand on it. That's equivalent to you niggas being bent the fuck over. That is a woman psychologically bending your ass over and fucking you with a fucking psycho dildo. That is in her mind what she's fucking doing. That is in her mind what she's doing. When she's older than you like that, and what she's tapping into, in her mind, that is what she's doing. And you niggas, it may take a minute for you all to sit with that, to understand that, and that's fine. Y'all may never understand that. But that's personally what I think that shit is. And I don't give a fuck what you say. If a woman is 10 years older than you, she will never respect you like you think you should. You should be respected. Oh, my bad. Appreciate it. And a lot of niggas won't accept that because a lot of y'all niggas that think I'm talking about y'all. Look, man, if the shoe fits, it is what it is. But dudes have to be very careful with dealing with older women. Because this is why there's groups where these women talk about getting that that they be doing vaginal exercises and they be wearing oils and potions and shit when they get older, and always, you know, wanting to be naked and talk about they refining their femininity. They're learning from other women when they get older, like 38, 41, 42. All these bitches want, black bitches want to get into yoga and shit magically. They're learning. A lot of these chicks were masculine, and or not even, they weren't the most masculine. I've seen it, dude. I can show you some of the groups. I'm telling you, I've been in some of these groups, like just ear hustling some of this shit. Like, yo, I'm telling you, they always want to learn to gyrate their hips and do belly dances and shit. Six the Goddess was in some of these groups. They all tapping, and now you see it as they're tapping. She's on the younger end of this. This is how they try to tap in the yoni and then like, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, nigga. And this is, they target younger dudes because they know younger dudes are not as especially like when it comes to Z's and millennials. Z's are not as emotionally mature. Millennials are not as emotionally mature as like Xers would have been at their same age. So they're tapping into these niggas. I'm telling you, man. And they're the same thing with Usher. I'm telling you, nigga. They're tapping into that fucking auntie mommy energy, that trust energy, where dudes are like completely being emotionally open and they're fucking backdooring your ass. They're fucking your heart, your mind, and your soul, and you niggas get attached. Because you gotta think about it. Black men are not used to dealing with femininity from black women in general. Even men that get hoes, you still dealing with a very like masculine fucking overt. You're not dealing with feminine fucking. You're dealing with a very masculine approach to sex. Black women have a very masculine approach to sex. Black women try to fuck you as much as you fuck them. Now they don't, I'm not sure if they apply that shit with white men, but with black men, it's that Cleon shit. And a lot of y'all niggas, like there's a lot of stuff I don't say, but like, nigga, there's a reason why I be saying the shit I be saying. And y'all don't see it that way. Just like how when niggas talk about polygamy, I'm like, that's backdoor matriarchy. That's backdoor matriarchy. Because ultimately that dynamic, when women, all it takes is one woman to break bad. What was that dude, Hotep King, I forget what his name was. You know how these dudes always get caught up? Because once them hoes, all it takes is one to snap out of that to break that whole chain. You do not have control of these women like you think you do. They're playing along for now. Well, that's the physical, but it's not just the physical when they do that yoni stuff. It's about a mentality. And that's they actually sell these courses on how to control men and men, but most black women cannot pull it off because it requires you to have a certain mastery of your own emotions in a way that most black women don't. Like, how many women do you really notice like Erykah Badu? Like, mentality wise, Erykah Badu doesn't hate men. But I'm telling you, man, I've seen women like that, man. And nigga, what's up, AB? Most, you gotta remember, most black men are not used to dealing with feminine women. And so when if you come across that, yeah, it is the auntie baby sitter fetish. But if you come across that in any real way, men don't really know how to deal with that. Black men, I'm talking about black men in particular. So even if you were dealing with normal, if you had a normal healthy dose of femininity, you would understand that. You would still be very, very vulnerable to this situation. But black men are extra vulnerable because it's like a black man starving and you're giving a black man like a really, really good meal. Charlize Theron is not what I'm talking about. There's a lot of women. Charlize Theron is paying for that. So there's women that are doing that, and then there's women that don't gotta pay. Drea Michelle might be this type of bitch too, but I actually think Drea Michelle is just more young-minded as hell. That's what I think Drea Michelle is, and she knows how to apply that. There's levels to it. Like for instance, India Rose, I don't think is this type of chick, but India Rose has this kind of quiet demeanor, at least image that she gives off, and she comes off as a chick that you could be around her, not fuck her, and don't think you wasted your time. And that's very rare in a female that looks like she does. That's very rare, and she's more on the quieter side of it. So I'm not talking, it's not all the same thing. No, I'm talking about women that they know how to control their feminine energy and how it projects. And it's not common. But when a woman can do that, that is a problem. That is a problem. It's not like a dude just funny. That is a problem. I'm telling you, right? It is what it is, but it's like dealing with witchcraft. It's really hard for me to describe it but I've seen this. I know it exists, and them bitches. There's been one of these chicks that actually liked me, and that's why I could have, like, honestly, I would have got a lot more women if I'd been willing to engage with deal with older women that are like 10 years older than me. I would have gotten a lot. I would have probably doubled. I would have almost, not exactly tripled, but I would almost tripled the amount of women I would have been able to engage in. And then I'm talking about even when I was like 22, 23. So I'm talking about if I would have been going up to like 35. Yeah, I wasn't willing to do that though. And people can believe that if they want. And I'm not talking about ugly women either. I've always had better luck. I've always had it a lot easier dealing with older women than necessarily women my age, as far as how much I had to actually try. But I just wasn't willing to do that for a variety of reasons. Part of it is I saw too many, at least that I'm willing to disclose, is I saw too many niggas that got pregnant by these women. Part of it too was a lot of them women were on the dark. It wasn't all of them, but a lot of them was on the darker end of that spectrum. And normally, and I don't have a problem dating darker women at all, but a lot of that was giving some real strong, I want to mix baby, I want a baby with brown eyes vibe. India Love. All of them Nia Soul chicks don't have it. That's like, you're talking about like Jedi Master levels, and really higher than that, like the best of the masters. Because most of these women can't get out of their own mental, like what black women don't understand is how they view sex is mentally not good as far as their own pleasure seeking. Like this thing, like even where you need women, or sex is a very emotional for women. So when you require like this huge brute force way of having a sexual experience, essentially what you do is you actually get in your own way. And some of this stuff I've actually studied, looked into. Like, you learn some stuff when you come to house sex, and women kind of go hand in hand in a lot of ways mentally. And so when you become this, I need like a lot of, yeah, I could go in on that, but we've said what we've said. Well, I'm not even saying it's just that. It's a variety of factors. That's one of them, though. Just to like say, okay, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. But that was one of them. The other one was I saw too many dudes get pregnant by older women and have 10-year-old baby mamas. And like I told y'all, I didn't need to be red pilled. Like a lot of this stuff, I already knew. I know a dude that had 3 baby mamas about 21 years old, and his youngest baby mama was 10 years older than him. So I'm not playing that game. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of dudes don't like this is stuff that dudes don't be thinking about because if you're not told, why would you? Like for real, why would you think about it if you're not told? So yeah. All right, y'all. Yeah, what's up, Joe Dumars? So yeah, and these women are gonna tell you that because anything. Why would they tell you anything that benefits them? That's what men don't understand. Men, even when we approach these conversations, we just assume they're gonna we're gonna tell them what we think, and they tell us what they think. Right? No. Women talking to women is like talking to the CIA. They are willing to use deception to get what they want out of you, and unfortunately, you have to understand that going in. But see, men understand if they don't trust women, then what does that mean? Exactly. So, anyway, this thing has been, we've been live for an hour and a half. Y'all got an extra hour and a half on me. It is. And a lot of people don't even believe it. Because they believe any dude that's talking about dick discipline is really lying. That's what they really believe. Anyway, y'all, it's been great. You know, I'll be looking, but I gotta go. So, been great talking to y'all. Appreciate J Bay with the $10 as always. With that being said, this is Edward signing off. Let me see my hit. All right, so as always, this is Edward signing off. Peace.